Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on March 3rd, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. All right, as usual, we'll get started with our calendar here. So let's take a look. In regards to the data here, we saw that the PMI numbers out of Eurozone were mostly on the positive side here, and we have seen Euro go up as a result. US dollar PMI numbers not as good. We saw a decline. And a big one here, we have Australian dollar data coming up. We do have building approvals and current account numbers. The current account is supposed to drop considerably. So if we see these type of numbers, we are likely to see Australian dollar drop. And looks like our forecast here for the cash rate has changed. So now the market is expecting an interest rate cut from Australia. So especially with this coronavirus issue and everybody concerned that it is, or the central banks being concerned that it is going to impact the supply chains and the economies, we are seeing a lot of central banks talking about interest rate cuts. They're talking about doing more expansion in monetary policy or providing more stimulus to the market. So all of that is actually negative for the currencies, but positive for the stock market. So if we see that Australia wants to do that as well, they have already cut interest rate last year, and they could do that this year as well. So if we see a drop here, if they cut the interest rate, Australian dollar is likely to drop in that case. And same thing here, we have to look at what comments they have in regards to the monetary policy. So if they do the same thing that Fed is doing, where they come out and they're vocal about supporting the economy and making sure they provide support to the economy, to the markets, that will be negative for Australian dollar. Generally, we see when there's monetary policy stimulus, it's good for the stock markets, but bad for the currency. So that's what I would expect. If we do see this, then it would be negative for Australian dollar. We also have Japanese yen here, consumer confidence numbers for Japan. It is supposed to be a lower than previous number, but if it drops below this, that will be negative for Japanese yen as well. Going on to Tuesday here, we have monetary policy report hearings here for UK, and Bank of England has sort of held its own. They haven't really talked too much about cutting interest rates at this point. So should that change and we start to hear concerns in regards to the trade relations with the European Union, or we start to hear we hear comments in regards to the coronavirus impacting the economic conditions, all of that will be negative for British pounds. So we'll have to keep an eye on how this comes up. And then we have CPI numbers here for Eurozone. Right now, they are expected to be in line with expectations. We have seen Euro go up for many days in a row. So if these numbers come in below the expectation here, we could see a drop. And then we also have G7 meetings tomorrow. So this is where actually one of the things they're supposed to talk about is also the response to the coronavirus and its impact on the economies. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And when we have these meetings, there are always journalists who are looking for comments. So keep an eye on what kind of comments come out, especially in regards to how the finance ministers or the central banks are looking to manage this situation. So if they talk about supporting the markets, which means having a monetary policy that is more loose, that would be negative for the currencies. And then we have US dollar data, nothing too important here. And then GDP numbers out of Australia. And if we see a decline already for the quarter, then this will be negative for Australian dollar. So that's what we have in terms of news coming up. So let's go on to our charts now. And we'll start off with euro dollar here. As we talked about, this price has just been, it's been a one-way street. It's gone through this high here all the way into 1.1180, a level that we haven't seen since January here. So over a month here. So price had dropped sharply and now it's gone back up. Even more sharply than it had dropped. So right now this is looking bullish, but I would start to watch out now because euro is into an important support resistance level here. And if price holds below 1.1180, we could see it drop. So bias is still bullish, but with caution here. What I'm looking for is a retest of 1.1180. If it holds below, I will look for a resell. So essentially this support resistance level is important. Now, should it go through here, it can still go all the way into the high here and then turn from there. But I would start looking for turning points in price at this point, either at 1.1180 or into this resistance level, because this is a very important support resistance level at 1.1240 as well. So bias is bullish, but with caution here for euro dollar. And like I said, I'm looking for a price to turn here. Pound dollar here, this one we did see a drop. Price has held below this previous support resistance level at 1.2850. So bias here is bearish, but keep in mind, we haven't seen a drop here through the support level yet. So price is still holding above the previous support resistance level here. And if this is the support resistance level we're looking at, and if it holds above, it can become range bound here. So that's something to watch out for, but bias is bearish based on today's candle close. We have a pin bar, but we do need to see a break through the support for it to continue lower. Now, should euro turn, and this is what we are seeing recently, pound has been dropping and euro has been going up. And when euro was dropping, pound was going up. So we could see that switch again. So keep that in mind. But for now, bias is bearish for for pound, looking for it to go through 1.2720. And then the next target here is 1.2585. So bias is bearish for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one has pulled back. So we have seen stock markets have gone back up, especially based on the comments in regards to support from monetary policy. Central banks have been talking about, especially Fed has talked about supporting the stock markets and keeping the monetary policy loose. So as a result of that, we have seen stock markets go up, as well as Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar have gone up as well. Now, what we need to keep an eye on here would be our resistance level at 0.6570, which is the high of the day today. So if price holds below this level, then we could see a drop here. So we could see price just turn around here. So watch out for that. So right now bias is bullish. I would look for a retest of 0.6570, but if it holds below that level, then I would look for a drop, or it could go into this 0.6580 level and then drop from there. So bias for now is slightly bullish, but again with caution, because I am looking for price to turn, especially if they cut rates, then this is going to drop. So Australian dollar will weaken if the Reserve Bank of Australia cut rates, so this one could drop. So just keep an eye on it. For now, bias is bearish, bias is bullish just based on technicals alone, but I'm looking for a turn in this one. New Zealand dollar, this one has gone back up as well, but I'm seeing this as more of a pullback here. Same thing as Australian dollar, prices into resistance here. So we need to see if price can hold above today's high. So if it holds below 0.6280, I will look for a further drop here. But we do have a nice bullish candle close, which means this one could go further here into this previous support resistance level here. So in this case, a bias is bullish based on the bullish candle close. But like I said, I would watch out for potential reversal points here. So either at 0.6280 or 0.6330. So bias for now is bullish, but with caution. Dollar CAD here, a huge drop in dollar CAD because we have seen reversals across the market essentially. And oil has gone back up. As a result, Canadian dollar has strengthened, and we have seen dollar CAD drop as a result of that. So right now, bias here is bearish here, and I will look for price to drop further. Now we are into support resistance, so this is an important level. This is where price had struggled a lot of time. And if it holds above this one, could still go further. But once we see a drop through this level here, I will look for price to drop further. 1.3265 is the next target here. So bias is bearish. And in terms of the move, there are a couple of different scenarios here. Either we get a pullback into 1.3350 and then a drop, or another case that we could see would be a pullback all the way into 1.3380 and then a drop from there. So those are the two levels I would watch, but for now bias is bearish for dollar CAD. Pound Aussie, this one's looking bearish, but same thing again here. If Australia cuts rates, then we're likely to see this one go back up. But for now, bias is bearish, and if they don't cut rates, I would look for this one to drop. But if they cut rates, I'm looking for it to go back up all the way, potentially into 1.9750. So bearish bias here for Pound Aussie, but with caution. All right, let's take a look at commodities now. We'll start off with silver. We see that price did go up in silver here, but it's not looking super bullish at this point. It's neutral. We have a large pin and a small candle body here. So neutral bias here. What I'm looking for in regards to silver here would be a retest of 17, and if it holds below, then we could see another leg lower here. But for now, bias is neutral. First target is 17.00, and if it goes through that level, we could see it go all the way into 17.40. But chances are, as long as it holds below 17, this one could drop further. So for now, neutral bias for silver. Gold here, gold hasn't really done a whole lot. We have a neutral candle close, indecision candle, and right now, basically the market is, I'm looking for the market to readjust. So right now, there has been a lot of volatility in the market, a lot of fear-driven moves and so forth. And then we have seen a lot of optimism come in the market with Fed talking about supporting the markets and other central banks talking about supporting the market. So now we just need to wait and see how the market sentiment comes out, because it's gone back and forth. It was at all-time highs, and then we have seen a big drop that erased all the gains from 2019, and now we are seeing a move back up. So we'll just have to wait and see, wait for markets to readjust before we start to see a further sort of see how things will go with this one. So neutral bias here. What I'm looking for with gold here would be a retest of 1612, and if it holds below, then we could see a drop here. So for now, bias is neutral here for gold. And then we have oil here. Oil went up. Look, it's looking bullish at the moment. And next target here, so bias is bullish. Next target is 49.50. And should it go through that, we could see it go all the way into 51. So bullish bias, but again, I think this may just be a knee-jerk reaction, so we just need to wait and watch. For now, I'm looking for a move higher into 49.50, and if it doesn't go through, then we could see a drop, but for now, bias is bullish for oil. Copper here, copper is bullish. We have seen a big, strong move off of that support level. So looking bullish at this point. Now we are close to the high of this range. This is where it's been trading in for several weeks now. So at this point, I would say bullish bias, but with caution, because we could see price go into 2.59 and then turn around, because this is still trading in a range. So overall, my bias is neutral to slightly bullish, and I am looking for a potential turnaround at the high of this range, so watch out for that. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin, we did have a bullish candle close for the day here. Bias is bullish, but again, keep in mind we are into resistance. So this is where price had turned. Even though we had a nice bullish candle close, it had dropped. Same thing here. We do have a nice bullish candle close, but if the price is not able to go through the high here, then we could see a reversal. So do watch out for that. I would say bullish bias for now, but again, with caution here as well. All right, let's take a look at equities markets here. We had a big move to the upside today, and all of this basically started with Fed wanting to support the markets or announcing that they're going to support the markets. So bias here is bullish. And next target here we're looking at is 3120. So bullish bias here, 3120 is the next target, and then above that we're looking at 3150. Now same thing here, we are close to resistance here. If price doesn't go through 3120, this one could turn around. So for now, bias is bullish, but again, I would be cautious. Now there are, we have the G7 meetings tomorrow. So a lot of comments could come out which can impact the stock market, so watch out for those. Nasdaq here, this one's looking bullish as well. Price is into resistance, but bias is bullish. Next target is 9020, and then above that we are looking at 9200. So bullish bias, next target is 9020, and if it holds below, we could see a turn here as well. So again, need to be cautious, but for now, bullish bias, 9020 first target and 9200 as the second target for Nasdaq. And then we have Dow Jones, a big move up in Dow Jones here as well. Same thing, market is becoming optimistic that interest rates will get cut, and there will be support to the financial markets here from the Fed. So looking bullish at this moment, it is into resistance, so watch out for that. But bullish bias here, next target is 27,320. So bullish bias for Dow Jones. DAX here. DAX as well, price bounced off of the support, went right into our resistance at 12,190 here. So for now, bias is neutral here. And if it holds below this 12,190, we could see a drop back down. So right now, bias is neutral for DAX. Footsie here, Footsie is looking bullish. We see that price dropped and then went back up. So next target here is 69.20. So the first one would be 68.70 and then 69.50 even. So bias is 69.20 and then 69.50. So bias is bullish, but again with caution here. Nikkei is, we do have a bullish candle close, but right now it is into resistance right where it is at 12,780. So if it holds below 12,780, this one could go back down. So watch out for that. Bias is bullish, but if it doesn't go through 21,780, we are looking for a drop. But the next target here, should it go through this 21,780, would be 22,240. So for now, bias is bullish, but with caution. All right, so that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.